What's up, guys? Today I wanted to do a video just kind of showing like my knife journey, I guess. After I started getting into EDC a lot. I started out, I've always had a pocket knife. I've had, I don't know, probably close to 100 pocket knives maybe. Just kind of growing up. None of them were very good knives though. Up until recently, the last few years, is really when I started getting into like EDC. Technically, I carried a knife every day way before that, but I didn't know what EDC was. I didn't know good knives. I didn't know blade steels. I didn't know anything back in the day. So, anyways, I'm gonna go through my journey, kind of after I started getting into EDC and how that's developed over time here. So first and foremost, this is a Smith & Wesson, I don't know what it's called. It's assisted opening, so you can just barely tap it, spring loaded, bam. So yeah, Smith & Wesson Black Ops. I rocked this knife forever, for years probably. This was like my first EDC knife. It was like $40, which is a lot for a knife of, I'm not going to say it's quality. But it's fine. I mean, it's a fine little EDC knife. I thought it looked cool. Spring loaded I thought was super cool at the time. Just super badass, but aside from that, I mean, it's the steel's nothing to write home with. It has problems, so it is just a liner lock. The liner lock works fine, but it has this lock here. If you can see that, let's see, which is supposed to prevent the knife from opening in your pocket, but as you can see, lock is on. It does nothing. That failed on me like day 3 maybe of having this knife. So not exactly the most quality knife ever. Not very good materials. But I mean, it got the job done. I just needed something that could cut and looked cool. And this one worked. I liked Tonto blades a lot back then, so that was a big selling point for me as well. And the assisted opening, all of that fun stuff, I just thought was really cool. So I carried this knife for a very long time, up until this knife came out. So I had just started getting into EDC, and I was watching like some of the YouTubers that did knife reviews, stuff like that. I was trying to like gear up for a big purchase, and the Benchmade Bugout came out. And like everybody was losing their minds over it. It was like the best EDC knife ever made. Everybody's going crazy over it. The new axis lock. So I picked one up. Here we go. Look at that. Just standard blue, because it was $120 when I picked it up. I think it was $120 when I picked it up. And at the time, that was a lot of freaking money for a knife, okay? $40 was like my maximum spending point. $120 was a lot. So I didn't get any of the upgrades. I just got the standard model, the blue scales. So this one's S30V steel. You can see that. Yep. Yeah, and it's got the axis lock. I do like this knife a lot. The problem is I have an issue with the pocket clip. It's like super tight, so it is hard to get it like clipped onto your pocket when you're putting it in your pocket, and it's kind of hard to take it out without ripping your jeans or something. The action is fine. I've never had an issue with it. The axis lock is amazing. It's like my favorite lock style. It's super lightweight and it disappears in the pocket, which I think is really nice, especially when you're wearing shorts, something like that. I love this knife for shorts, gym shorts specifically, because you could just clip it on there and you don't even know it's there, really. My problem is it does give a little bit. I don't know if you can really tell, but there's a little bit of flex there, which is, I mean, the nature. It doesn't have the full, I don't know if you can really tell, see in there, but it's mostly just plastic. The actual metal part in there stops like right here, something like that, and the rest is just plastic. So there's a little bit of give. It does make it more lightweight, but for as of an expensive knife as it is, it did feel kind of cheap. Like, this is just plastic, basically. And it's super lightweight. And, like, I don't know. It's a fantastic little knife. I do love it to death. At the time, I just wasn't as impressed as I had thought. I mean, given that everybody was just going crazy about the knife at the time. It did ride in my pocket for a very long time, though. It's a really good blade. So, no. Moving on. The next knife, I didn't want to go for like another super expensive knife, and I had heard about Civivi, and I know they made really good knives. So I got this little bad boy. It's a Civivi. I don't know the specific model anymore, but it's just a flipper. I really like the design of it, like the like wood handles, and just the normal job point blade edge, and it's like a frame lock. It's an excellent knife. I picked this up for like $40, maybe $50, which, I mean, it puts this thing to shame that I paid $40 for that when I could have had something like this. This is a fantastic knife. The action is just so good. It just looks really good. It's really well made. Civivi's awesome. I love them. But yeah, so good knife. I did carry this knife for quite a while here as well. Same kind of thing, though. I mean, it's not really... It wasn't perfect. As far as that goes, I wasn't satisfied. The hunger was still there. I needed something else. So I did go for a more premium option. This is from We Knives. This is the Kitefin. This is a limited edition model too, because they happen to go on sale Black Friday, and I really liked this style. So I got a pretty good deal. It was like I paid $230 for it, something like that. It was on sale. Normally it was like $300. So I feel like I got a good deal. It's obviously limited edition. They only made like 150 of these. 20 CV steel. Excellent little knife. I like it a lot. This is my first button lock, so I did like the button lock quite a bit for it. I don't know. I wasn't like super impressed though. It's just I don't know. I don't have a lot of bad to say about this knife. It's an excellent knife. The action is amazing. It was expensive though, and I did almost lose it. I was at the movie theater and it fell out of my pocket because I guess I was shifting around too much, and I almost lost it in the theater, which would have been devastating because it's an expensive knife. So I didn't want to carry it as much. I kind of went back to this for a little bit, and then I got this Spyderco Tenacious, which is a fantastic knife. I mean, especially if you're doing like heavy work with it, anything like that. It's a very robust knife. It's my first Spyderco. no complaints. I do like the Spidey hole. I think it's cool. It's just a liner lock as well, which kind of bums me out. I wish it was like a button lock or, you know, crossbar lock, something like that. But it was cheap. It was like $60. I'm like, I'm not afraid of damaging this or losing it, something like that. So, yeah, it's a good knife. It is a bit hefty though in the pocket, and it's a wide boy. Like, look look how much wider this is. These two are compared to each other. It's a wide knife, so not crazy about that. It just doesn't ride in the pocket that well, and summertime. I'm wearing shorts. I don't want something big in my pocket. So that comes to the Kershaw Bel Air. Boom. This is like my favorite knife right now. It is everything I wanted in a knife, and then some. Different kind of blade style than I normally get, but it doesn't bug me at all. I think it's really cool. Magna cut steel, all American made. You can see that. USA made, Magna cut. It's got the crossbar. The action is amazing on this little knife. I love it to death. It's aluminum scales. It's still super thin. So, I mean, comparatively, they're very similar. But the plastic does make it a little bit lighter, but also it just doesn't feel very robust. It doesn't feel like an expensive knife, whereas this one does feel robust. It feels really nice, and I like it a lot. I've already done a video on it, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but I love this knife. And then, because it's still not the perfect knife, I have been branching out, trying new things. This is a CJRB Pyrite Light. It was like $30, so I'm like, I have to pick it up. That's too good of a deal to pass up. Same kind of handle style as like the Bugout, but it is a button lock, and it's surprisingly really good. The action's great. I have no complaints about this knife. Great $30 knife if you're in the market for it. And it is, again, pretty lightweight because of this plastic scales. It's pretty thin. It's a great knife. I do like it a lot. Still not perfect. I mean, obviously, it's a cheaper knife. It has weaker steel. The materials aren't great. So I am on a quest for the best knife, for me anyways, which I'm leaning towards this. I do have another knife to show though, the Civivi Incindie. Yeah, I bought another Civivi knife because look at the blade shape on that. It's just so cool. I'd love this little knife. And it's starting to cool down a little bit, so I'm wearing jeans again. So the fact that this is a little bit of a heavier knife than like this doesn't really bother me too much. It's super fun to play with still, which is important for me. I just think it's a badass little knife. I really dig the blade shape. The G10 handles make it feel super robust like the Tenacious, but it's not as wide, as bulky as the Tenacious. And I just think it's a really good knife. So that's kind of been rocking in my pocket lately. But yeah, I'm still on a quest for the best EDC knife for me, which I'll probably never find, but maybe one of these days. And who knows? I mean, it could be this. If I can swap these scales out for like titanium, this is the knife. This is probably the best one. I'm picky. I'm not crazy about the aluminum scales. I do know they make them in black now, but I'm not. I bought it before that. I'm not gonna buy another one, just to have the black scales. The white is fine. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much, but I wish this was like a darker titanium, and I would have loved that. But yeah, so those are kind of the knives I've been rocking with. I've had this one for many years. I was rocking that just fine. I wasn't complaining. I thought it was cool back in the day, and it worked for me. So that's kind of been my evolution all the way up to the Incindie. So yeah. Anyways, new video every Sunday now because my work schedule changed and I can't upload on Mondays now. So it is what it is. Subscribe if you want to see more for some reason. Like, comment, tell me what you think. If you have a knife suggestion for me, let me know. I am desperately looking for the perfect knife. I love titanium, so if it has titanium scales, fantastic. I've been thinking about the Lander 2 from NAFS. Thinking about that because it does have the axis bar, the axis lock, crossbar lock, whatever. So I have been thinking about that, but I don't know. The blade shape throws me off. So I don't know. Tell me what you think, and maybe I'll pick it up and do a review or something. Anyways, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.